Welcome to aminacademy.com. Let us do the history of the Greek world and that the Peloponnesian War from BC 431 to 404. At the time of war's declaration, no one thought that it would last 27 years and would ultimately embroil the entire Greek speaking world. Rather, the Spartans expected that they would march with an army to Athens, fight a decisive battle, then return home forthwith. The long duration of the war, however, was partly the result of the different strength of the two leading powers. Athens was a naval empire with allies scattered all over the Ionian Sea. Sparta, on the other hand, was a landlocked power with supporters chiefly in the Peloponnese and with no navy to speak of at the outskirts of the war. The Peloponnesian War brought about significant change in the government of both Athens and Sparta, so that by the end of the war, neither power locked as it did at the outset. Athens, in particular, became more democratic because of increased need of manpower to row its fleet. The lowest census bracket, the Thetes, whose poverty and inability to buy their own armor had previously excluded them from military service, became by the end of the war a full-fledged part of the Athenian forces and required a correspondingly greater degree of political influence. In the case of Sparta, the war had ended the Spartan policy of relative isolation from the rest of the affairs of the Greek city states. The length of the war also brought about significant changes to the nature of a Greek warfare. While war was previously largely a seasonal affair with many conflicts being decided with a single battle, the Peloponnesian War forced the Greek city states to support standing armies. Finally, while sieges of cities and attacks on civilians were previously frowned upon, they became the norm by the end of the Peloponnesian War. Now we'll discuss more about Peloponnesian War. The Peloponnesian War was a conflict between the Greek city-states of Athens and Sparta that lasted from 431 to 404 BCE. The war involved nearly every Greek city-state, with each side's alliance relying on its own strengths. Fear of Athenian imperialism. Athens' growing power and money it made through tribute upset other city states, tension intensified by the Delian League. The league was created to unite city states against foreign invasions, but it led to more disunity. The key events: Battle of Augos the Athenian navy was destroyed with the Persian help, leading to Athens' surrender in 404 BCE. Siege of Plataea. The Peloponnesian forces used a combination of siege strategies to starve the Plataeans into surrender. Battle of Sparta. The Battle of Sparta, the Athenian won a victory, but 300 Spartan hoplites surrendered. Aftermath, the war marked a shift in power in favor of Sparta. It ushered in a period of regional decline that signaled the end of the golden age of ancient Greece. Athens' empire was dismantled, and the Spartans installed the 30 tyrants. Notable figures: Thucydides, an ancient Greek historian who wrote history of the Peloponnesian War, which is considered one of the world's finest work of history. Thucydides, born 460 BC or earlier, died after 404 BC, was the greatest of ancient Greek historians and author of the history of the Peloponnesian War, which recounts the struggle between Athens and Sparta in the 5th century BC. His work was the first recorded political and moral analysis of the nation's war policies. Athenian culture during the Peloponnesian War. During the Peloponnesian War, Athenian culture was characterized by military. The Athenians were a formidable fighting force with a disciplined army, a strong navy, and a variety of weapons and technology. Strategy. The Athenians used their natural terrain and the sea to their advantage, launching surprise attacks on Spartan territory. The Athenian had a strong sense of communal identity and loyalty to their city. Civic responsibilities. The Athenians had a strong tradition of civic responsibilities and patriotism. The Athenians had accumulated wealth from maritime commerce and silver mines. Art and architecture. The Athenians built thousands of temples and statues that embodied their understanding of beauty. Literature. Athenians were known for their literature, including the tragedies of Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides, and the comedies of Aristophanes. Democracy. Athens was governed by an early system of democracy. The Peloponnesian War was a long and complex conflict between Athens and Sparta and their respective allies. The war marked the end of the 5th century BC and the golden age of Greece. Sophocles. What is Sophocles? Sophocles was a dramatist who lived during the Greek classical period, which includes the Peloponnesian War. His work reflects the social, economic, and political tension of the time. Oedipus Tyrannos. This play explores the themes of power and governance and reflects the realities of Athenian society. For example, the play's portrayal of the plague in Thebes is influenced by Thucydides' accounts of the plague. The character of Oedipus also shares similarities with the Athenian people, such as their inquisitive nature and propensity for action. Role of Athenian culture. So Sophocles was an active participant in Athenian political and cultural life. He served as a general at the siege of Samos and a treasurer of the Delian Confederation. He was also a leader in the art, and his work influenced the creation of Athenian civilization. Influence on the chorus. Sophocles is said to have changed the nature of the chorus, setting its number at 15. Influence on the other playwrights. Sophocles' work influenced other playwrights, including his grandson Ariston, who also wrote tragedies. The Peloponnesian War was fought between Athens and Sparta from 431 to 404 BC. The war had a significant impact on Athenian domestic life, political harmony, and international power. So far, we discussed about Peloponnesian War in Greek history. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.